Hey everybody, Lichty here. We're going to do lesson 5.2, equations with variables on both sides. So first let's quick review our steps for solving equations. First step is we simplify both sides. That's always important. It's kind of two separate problems to simplify the left side of the equation and the right side separately. Once it's simplified, we're going to isolate that variable term. This is going to look a little different because there's going to be a little extra in this step. We're going to have to get rid of the smaller by adding or subtracting, and I'll explain that. Third step is we then isolate the variable. And lastly, it's always nice to check your answers. So let's jump in with an example. Okay, first example. So you can see I have a variable on both sides. So I go through my steps. Step 1, simplify both sides. Well, the left side, 5n minus 9, is already simplified. The right side, 3n plus 1, already simplified. So check. First step's already done for us. Second step, isolate variable term. Well, I can't do that until I have my variables together. So first thing I'm going to do, it says get rid of smaller by adding or subtracting. 3n is the smaller one. To get rid of positive 3n, I subtract 3n. And I still have to do the same thing to both sides. Now what happens is very nice. Those cancel out. I end up with 2n minus 9 equals positive 1. Now, I'm still not done with that second step. I still haven't isolated the variable term. I need to add 9 to both sides. So now I have 2n equals 10. So step 2, done. The variable term is all by itself. Step 3, isolate the variable. I have n times 2. The inverse operation of times 2 is divide 2. I have to do the exact same thing to both sides. That cancels. I'm left with n equals 5. I plug it in to check. 5 times 5 minus 9. I'm going to do that in my head. That's 25. Take away 9 is 16. Let's check. What's 3 times 5 plus 1? 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16. 16 equals 16. It's good. Okay? So we just have that extra step. So let's move on to example number 2. Okay? Second example. First step, simplify both sides. Okay, the left side already simplified, right side already simplified, check. Isolate the variable term. Get rid of smaller by adding or subtracting. In this one, 1x is smaller than 3x. So I'm going to get rid of the 1x. To get rid of 1x, I subtract 1x, or just x, on both sides. I still have to do the exact same thing to both sides. That turns out really nice because x minus x, those cancel out. I'm left with positive 6. 3x minus x is 2x. Okay? Now on this problem, the variable term is now by itself, so I'm done with that step. So third step, isolate the variable. I have x times 2. To get rid of times 2, the inverse operation is divide 2. I have to do the exact same thing on both sides. Cancel. And x equals 3. And that's my answer. You can easily plug it in your head and find out that 3 plus 6 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. It's the same on both sides. Good. Okay, let's move on to another example. Alright, I'm going to go a little faster on this one, and I'm going to do a little less explaining. Okay, simplify both sides, done. Isolate variable term. Well, 2p negative 8p. I'm going to get rid of the negative 8. That's a lot smaller. I'm going to add 8p to both sides. I still have to do inverse operations. So negative 8p, the inverse of minus 8p is plus 8p. So those cancel out. And I'm left with 10p minus 7 equals 13. I still need to isolate, so I need to plus 7 on both sides. 10p equals 20. Divide by 10. P equals 2. Okay, I'm going to plug it in my head. 4 minus 7 is negative 3. 13 minus 16 is negative 3. Good. It's good. All right. Remember to take a second and closely look at the examples. These are how you're going to learn. Closely go through the steps and see it and kind of see if that's the same thing you would do. All right. Last example. All right. So I added one little extra step here, but it doesn't really make it much harder. So first step, simplify both sides. Well, the left side is not simplified. I need to distribute this 2. So that's going to give me 6x minus 2. Watch your signs on those. And the right side's already simplified, so I'm just going to copy it down. Okay, so first step's done. That didn't take much. Okay, now I'm going to isolate the variable. Well, first I need to get rid of the smaller variable. So I have 6x and 4x. I'm going to get rid of 4x. It's positive 4x, so I'm going to subtract 4x on both sides. 2x minus 2 equals 6. Add 2 to both sides. I have 2x equals 8. Divide by 2 on both sides. I have x equals 4. I'm going to double check in the original problem real quick in my head. So 12 minus 1, 11, 22, 16 plus 6. Good. It's good. Okay. So now I want you to take a second and try these 3 problems on your own. Now that you've had a chance to try them on your own, I'm going to quickly work through the answers. So double check your work as I work through them. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 2y on both sides. Careful here, that's negative 10 equals 2y. Divide by 2, y equals negative 5. Plug it in. Yep, that's right. Moving on. Example 2. Oh, nice, already simplified. I'm going to subtract t.
Good morning. Building leadership team will be meeting in...
That gives me 10t minus 3 equals positive 2. Plus 3, got to do it to both sides. 10t equals 5. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 10. Well, 5 divided by 10, 5/10 is a fraction. It's just 1/2 or 0.5. Done. Plug it in to check. I'm going to use a calculator. Good. I know it's good. All right. Lastly, just a little extra steps here. It doesn't really make it harder, so let's just take this one. You just got to be careful on all the signs on this one. Got to simplify both sides. 3x minus 8x. Careful here. That's plus 10 equals 2x plus 2 plus x. One more step of simplification. 3x minus 8x is negative 5x plus 10. 2x and 1x is 3x plus 2. I'm going to add 5x to both sides. Negative 5x and 5x are inverse, so they cancel out. 8x plus 2 minus 2 on both sides. 8x equals 8. Ooh, this one turned out nice. X equals 1. I'll just use a calculator to kind of plug this in, and it works. Okay, good job.